What's the most evil thing a teacher has ever done to your child? My 7-year-old daughter came home starving every day for 2 weeks straight. She'd demolish everything in the fridge the second she walked in. Sweetie, aren't you eating lunch at school? She looked down. Mrs. Cobbington says I eat too slow. She throws my lunch away if I'm not done in 10 minutes. My jaw dropped. She throws away your food? Yesterday I only got 3 bites of my sandwich before she dumped it. She said slow eaters don't deserve lunch. I called the school that evening. The secretary brushed me off saying Mrs. Cobbington was helping children develop better eating habits. The next morning I packed an extra big lunch and wrote a note asking the teacher to let my daughter eat at her own pace. My daughter came home with the note crumpled up and her lunch completely untouched. She read your note out loud to the whole class and said you're trying to make excuses for lazy children. My blood was boiling. I decided to email the principal directly with my concerns. His response was even worse. Mrs. Cobbington has 30 years of experience. Perhaps you should work on your daughter's eating speed at home. That's when I knew I had to see this for myself. The next day I took a sick day from work and parked outside the school during lunchtime. I snuck around to the cafeteria windows and watched in horror. Mrs. Cobbington walked around with a timer and a trash bags. Kids were shoving food in their mouths. Some were crying while trying to eat faster. Then I saw my daughter. She was frantically trying to unwrap her sandwich when Mrs. Cobbington appeared behind her. Time's up, slowpoke. She grabbed my daughter's entire lunch and dumped it in the trash. My daughter just sat there staring at the empty table while other kids around her lost their lunches too. Some kids hadn't even opened their lunchboxes yet. I called my sister, who's a teacher in another district. She was horrified and told me to document everything immediately. The next day I came prepared with pen and paper. I wrote down everything I witnessed, the exact times, which kids lost their food, and Mrs. Cobbington's cruel comments. Please, Mrs. Cobbington, I can't get it open, a little boy pleaded with his thermos. Should have asked your parents to pack something easier. No lunch for you. I furiously scribbled down her exact words as she dumped his meal in the trash. I also overheard her telling another teacher, these parents pack way too much food anyway. A little hunger teaches discipline. That afternoon, I marched straight into the principal's office with my handwritten notes. I have detailed documentation of your teacher abusing children, I said, showing him my observations. He actually defended her. Mrs. Cobbington is teaching time management skills. She's starving kids. Look at my notes. He barely glanced at my papers. I'm sure you're misunderstanding the situation. I realized the principal was completely useless. That evening, I called every parent I could find whose kid was in Mrs. Cobbington's lunch period. Turns out I wasn't alone. 3 other parents had complained about their children coming home hungry, but they'd been dismissed just like me. We decided to coordinate. The next day, all 4 of us showed up at lunchtime and positioned ourselves at different windows around the cafeteria. I watched her tell a shy little girl, maybe if you spent less time daydreaming and more time eating, you wouldn't be such a problem. We had detailed witness accounts from multiple parents who saw the same horrific behavior. The next morning, all 4 parents stormed into that cafeteria during lunchtime. Mrs. Cobbington, I see you enjoy starving children, she turned red. These kids need to learn. I grabbed her salad off the teacher's table and dumped it straight in the trash. Oops, you were eating too slow. Guess you don't deserve lunch either. The other parents started confronting her while I called the district office right from the cafeteria phone. How does it feel to have your food thrown away? One parent shouted. Mrs. Cobbington tried to call security, but we had already contacted the superintendent and every school board member we could reach. Within hours, parents were flooding the school with phone calls. Word spread through the community like wildfire. The school board called an emergency meeting that evening. She was fired within the week.